Hello guys, hope all of you are well in this difficult situation. Welcome to my lecture series. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Rinki Bhaumik, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, JIS College of Engineering. Today's lecture is for first year. For first year, the paper name is Physics 1 and the paper code is EH101. The name of the paper is Physics 1 and 3 credits. There will be 3 lectures per week. Total 36 number of lectures will be there for all of you. This is for BTech first year as I said. Now let me show you your syllabus. This is your syllabus. First, this is module 1. In module 1, there is waves and oscillation. In module 2, there is classical optics where we have to discuss about interference of light and diffraction of light. In module 3, there is quantum mechanics 1 where we'll discuss about quantum theory and quantum mechanics. In module 4, there is solid state physics 1 where we'll discuss about crystal structure and semiconductors. And in the last module, that is module 5, we'll discuss about modern optics where there is laser and fiber optics. So this is your syllabus and these are some books which is recommended for all of you.
Hi, this is a short video where I'll talk about damped harmonic oscillation. So here's a wave in the image, and on the left hand side is the starting point of the wave, which shows a very high amplitude, and by the time it comes to the right of the image, the amplitude has got killed off and it's almost zero. That's the whole purpose of damped oscillation. It's good for automotive suspensions where the car may have a high amplitude when going over a speed breaker or a pothole, and we want to reduce it to zero. The whole thing boils down to drawing a waveform for the oscillation. So draw a graph, and on the left hand side you have the amplitude on the vertical y-axis, and the horizontal draw out the time on the x-axis. The yellow line, which is symmetrical for the waveform, also determines what's called the mean position. So let's say a car is at rest and it's not moving at all, then the chassis, the body, the wheel, tire, the springs and the shock absorbers inside the springs are all at rest and in their mean position. So as the car goes over a speed breaker, you can see my previous video on that, or in a pothole, the mean position is disturbed. So when we talk about a suspension, it's just that the tire and wheels are hung by springs and shock absorbers from the chassis. Here in this simplified sketch, you can see a ring on the top which is representative of the body and chassis, and the ball is representative of the wheel and tire. And the suspension system is represented by that spring there, although we should also have a damper in addition to that. This video is about damping of the oscillations. If you do not have a damper, the spring is likely to go on vibrating for a very long time. So if you have a suspension that does not have a damper, then those oscillations that we saw will continue for a very long time, which is not desirable for occupant comfort. So it's important to put a viscous damper, which is normally a hydraulic unit that's fitted inside that spring. Now, coming to the amount of damping, that's a decision that's based on the assessment of comfort and the dynamics of the suspension. So here you can see a particular waveform where the oscillations are brought down to zero with, let's say, 4 or 5 bounces, and this is one choice. So this is called an underdamped oscillation. This particular image shows that the oscillations have been brought down pretty quickly in 3 iterations to x equal to 0. So what's appropriate, what's right for a particular application is a matter of judgment based on various test results, and it cannot be quantified in this particular video. But in general, we can say that an underdamped oscillation is good for passenger comfort. Thanks and have a great day.
So in the last class we derived this equation, if you can remember, x by a minus sin phi whole square plus 4y square by b square into this. This equation we derived. Now we'll put different values. Like for phi equal to 0, if we put here, then what we are getting, sin phi will be 0 and this sin phi will also be 0. So x square by a square plus 4y square by b square into y square by b square minus 1. This will be equal to 0. So this is not a known equation actually. This equation will give us a curve. Okay, that curve I will show you that how actually it looks. Okay, now it actually looks like if we plot it, then we can get the figure like this. This is suppose A, this is suppose B, then the figure is like this. This figure looks like this. Now if we put the next condition like phi equal to pi by 2, then x by a minus 1 whole square plus 4y square by b square into y square by b square plus x by a minus 1 equal to 0. Phi equal to pi by 2 means this term will be gone. So therefore and also phi equal to pi by 2 means x1. So therefore finally we can write from this equation like this: x square by a square minus 2x by a. So x by a minus 1 whole square plus, very simple, 4y square by b square into y square by b square plus x by a minus 1, because x by a into 1 is equal to 1. So this is the equation. Now we'll simplify it. Equal to x by a minus 1 whole square plus 4y to the power 4 by b to the power 4 plus 4y square by b square into x by a minus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore x by a minus 1 plus 2y square by b square whole square is equal to 0. Because from here we can write it 2y square by b square. So this equation represents the coincident of parabolas. Okay, that is not known to us, but it actually represents the coincident of parabolas. The equation of each parabola, if we know that x by a minus 1 plus 2y square by b square equal to 0. So if we plot it, then we can get the curve. Okay, it is a symmetric curve about the axis. Now, so let's do it. This equation represents two coincident parabolas. The equation of each parabola is x by a minus 1 plus 2y square by b square equal to 0. Therefore, 2y square by b square equal to minus x by a minus 1. Y square equal to minus b square by 2a into x minus a. So this equation represents a parabola. It is symmetric about the x-axis. And this figure, if we plot it over here, then what actually it looks like this. This is nothing but a, this is nothing but b, and this is the center. So this is actually y phi equal to pi by 2. So this is about the Lissajous figure when we have two waves which superpose and they have the frequency ratio 1:2:1. Now today this chapter, like SHM, simple harmonic motion, is complete. Okay, where we have derived the differential equation, we solve it, and we have got the solution like x equal to a sin omega t plus phi, where omega is the frequency of the pendulum or the simple harmonic motion. Then due to the superposition of two waves, which kind of figures we can get, which is called Lissajous figure, that we have analyzed and we have drawn here. And also all the details we have done. Now today we are going to start a new chapter, okay, that is called damped vibration. The name of the chapter is damped vibration. So what is damped vibration? Before that, let us go to the pendulum, which oscillates with frequency omega. From extreme condition it comes to the equilibrium condition, then again coming to the extreme position, then coming to the equilibrium condition. This is the simple harmonic motion which we discussed in the last chapter. Now what is damped vibration? Here it has the natural frequency omega, with which it can oscillate for the rest of our life. But suppose around it there is air medium. That means due to the air medium there will be some resistance, it will feel some resistance. So due to the resistance it cannot oscillate. But it will stop after some time, and the frequency will not remain omega but will be changed. So this is about the damped vibration. Now again the same method, first we have to derive the differential equation of the damped vibration. Before that, first m into d2x dt square. M into d2x dt square. This is the force. This force must be proportional to dx by dt, and also this is proportional to x. So m into d2x dt square will be equal to minus r into dx by dt. This minus is because it is in opposite direction, and also equal to minus sx. This one we know from our last chapter. This is actually damping force. This is damping force, and this is restoring force. This is damping force and this is restoring force. Now if we add it over here, then finally what we are getting, m into d2x dt square is equal to minus r into dx by dt minus sx. From here what we are getting, d2x dt square plus r by m into dx by dt plus s by m x is equal to 0. So here finally what we can write, if we consider r by m equal to 2b and mu by m equal to omega square, then the final equation stands like d2x dt square plus 2b into dx by dt plus omega square x is equal to 0. So this is the differential equation of damped vibration. Now as we can see in the, for simple harmonic motion, the differential equation was d square x dt square plus omega square x equal to 0. But due to the damped vibration, here we are getting another additional term, that is 2b into dx by dt. This is the additional term we are getting for damped oscillation or damped vibration. Now after getting it, we have to solve this differential equation. The differential equation is, to solve it, we will apply the same method which we had done for simple harmonic motion. So again we will consider an equation x equal to a e to the power alpha into t. So if we put it over here, then what we are getting, alpha square plus 2b alpha plus omega square into a e to the power alpha into t is equal to 0. Therefore, alpha square plus 2b alpha plus omega square is equal to 0. Since a e to the power alpha t not equal to 0. Now we have to solve this equation. So how we can do it? Now alpha square minus 2b alpha plus omega square equal to 0. Therefore, what we can write, alpha equal to minus b, that means 2b, plus minus root over of 4b square minus 4 omega square by 2. Therefore, minus, there will be a minus, since this is plus, there will be a minus. So minus 2b plus minus 2 into root over of b square minus omega square by 2 is equal to minus b plus minus root over of b square minus omega square. So we are getting two values, and first one is alpha 1 is equal to minus b plus root over of b square minus omega square. Also alpha 2 equal to minus b minus root over of b square minus omega square. So there are two values of alpha 1 and alpha 2. Now, therefore the solution can be written as x equal to a1 e to the power minus b plus root over of b square minus omega square into t plus a2 into e to the power minus b minus root over of b square minus omega square into t. So this is the solution, general solution of the differential equation. So if we solve the differential equation of damped vibration, then the solution looks like this: x1 equal to a1 e to the power this plus a2 into e to the power this. Now we'll put a condition over here. See here, b square minus omega square, right? So that means there can be three conditions. First condition is b square greater than omega square. This is called over damping. Next condition is b square equal to omega square. Okay, this is called critical damping. The third condition can be obviously b square less than omega square, which is small damping. So these three conditions, we'll see how actually the expression of x we can get. So first, when b square greater than omega square, okay, so when b square greater than omega square, this is called, in that case it is called over damping. And if we plot for over damping, okay, over damping, then along x-axis it will be obviously time t, and along y-axis x, and it will be like this. This is called over damping. Now next is critical damping. So for critical damping, if we put b square equal to omega square over here, then finally for critical damping, if we go for critical damping, then x actually it looks like e to the power minus bt into a1 plus a2 plus bt into a1 minus a2 plus so on. So this is the solution of the critical damping. In the next class, we will discuss about the small damping. This is large discussion, that's why we will start on the next class. Now before that, let's recapitulate what we have done today. First, we had started from the Lissajous, we had started from this equation, x by a minus sin phi whole square. This equation we derived in the last class. Then we had put here different values of phi, for which we have got different figures. For different figures, these look like this, and then damped vibration we had started. Damped vibration means, here if we consider a simple harmonic motion, then there are two forces, m into d2x dt square. This is proportional to the velocity. From here we are getting damping force, and also m into d2x dt square equal to minus sx. This is called restoring force. So if we add it over here, then finally we are getting this equation, d2x dt square plus r by m dx by dt plus s by m x equal to 0. Now next we have considered r by m equal to 2b and mu by m equal to omega square. So here finally the final equation, differential equation, looks like d2x dt square plus 2b into dx by dt plus omega square x equal to 0. Therefore x equal to a to the power alpha t into, then we have just applied the same method, just like simple harmonic motion, like x equal to a to the power alpha t, and from there we have got two expression of alpha 1 and alpha 2, and as we can see, these are two different values. Here is plus, but here is minus. Okay, so alpha and alpha 2, the final equation is x equal to a1 e to the power minus b plus root over of b square minus omega square t plus a2 into this e to the power this. Now obviously the condition can be 3, like b square greater than omega square, b square equal to omega square, b square less than omega square. So when b square greater than omega square, that is called over damping. When b square equal to omega square, this is called critical damping. When b square less than omega square, this is called small damping. Now for b square greater than omega square, obviously the expression will remain same, and the figure looks like this. Now when b square equal to omega square, the condition if we put over here, then finally we are getting the expression x equal to e to the power minus bt a1 plus a2 plus bt a1 minus a2 plus so on. This is called critical damping. And what about the small damping? We will discuss in the next class. Okay. Then we will also compare the figures. So this is about the damped vibration, and will continue on the next class. So thank you for today.